Hello and welcome. It's the Degenerate YouTube channel that you're on again. College football week 3, our best bets video. We've been doing this since week 0. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Please like the video and subscribe to the YouTube page while you're here. If you're already familiar with this, we go through our best bets. We do talk about some marquee games on the board, even if we don't have any action. Steak and myself go through the board throughout the week. Every weekday, 10 a.m. On Tuesdays, we dig first look into the college football board. But now this is a little bit more polished preview of what we like going into the season. So it's Friday, September 12th. There are some games tonight, a few that will be on. We are presented by Pickett. Download Pickett, track your wagers, sync your sports books. You can follow us. I'm _degenerate. He's at Steakfriend with 2 A's. We'll have a little action tonight. Without further ado, let's get into it, Steak. So overall, a pretty nasty slate, I think, this weekend. There's a few things to talk about at noon. Not much going on during the day, and then a couple good games at night that we'll get into. So let's get into it. We do have our best bets, by the way, in our newsletter. You can subscribe to that, thedegenerateweekly.com. It is free, and thank you to everybody who pays. We appreciate it. Okay, first game on the slate that I think is worth talking about. You might have a play in this game. I decided to stay off, and I'll talk about why. Oklahoma at Temple. I got eyes on Oklahoma, and I'm not going to say it's for the first time, but it was for the first time this season with John Mateer at their quarterback, or as their quarterback. I was beyond impressed with John Mateer. I'm a Michigan guy this season. I've got their over win total, have them to win the Big 12. I was very unimpressed with Michigan, but that's not going to take away anything from the coaching job Venables did on the defense. They were flying around. I heard his halftime interview. He said, we're knocking the paint off their helmets. I fucking love that. I think we agree. Like, we think he's a better defensive coordinator than a head coach, but shit, man, if he's got Mateer playing that well as quarterback, anybody might be able to coach them. But this is an interesting spot for Oklahoma State. This is what we like to call the sandwich spot. A little bit of a letdown and before look ahead. We don't blindly play these spots across the board, but we pick and choose. Sounds like you might get involved. Oklahoma on the road in Temple after beating Michigan 24-13 before they play Auburn at home. I'm seeing they opened anywhere from 24.5, 25 down to 23. Take these openers and lines with a grain of salt. Do your own research. We reference different sites. You got to play in this game. What do you like?
I think so. And I have said in the past that I think we have started to abuse the term look ahead or the term sandwich spot, but not here. I actually think this is a very truest definition of a sandwich spot. You just had a really big win for your program against Michigan. Any way you want to slice it. Oklahoma hasn't been good. They come out and they do something that Brent Venables promising Oklahoma fans since he got there that was going to turn around, and that was play defense. Oklahoma never plays defense. And I was a doubter. I've been a doubter of Brent Venables since he got there because I didn't think he was capable of having a defense like this at Oklahoma. Well, as of right now, I was wrong. Next week, what do you have? Auburn, who looked wonderful in their win against Baylor. And who's the quarterback at Auburn? Jackson Arnold, the 5-star kid that was pretty terrible last year at Oklahoma. In between, you're going to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to play the Temple Owls at the Link. You're going to play at an empty NFL stadium in between these two games? Like, I don't know. To me, this is a true sandwich spot. And I just don't think Oklahoma's going to show too much here. They're going to try to get out of here alive without injury. And I like Temple to cover the spread.
Temple is a team that started the year 2-0. They've covered both spreads. They were 2.5-point favorites on the road against Massachusetts. They beat the piss out of them 42-10. Then they went home. They played Howard. They were 28-point favorites. So the odds market does not really respect Temple. Beat them 55-7. Scored 97 points in the first 2 weeks. It'll be interesting to see if Oklahoma, how they approach this game, because you also have John Mateer, who is now the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman.
That's a good point.
It's not even so much like, well, no, it's a lot of the spot. I agree, the sandwich spot, but now is Oklahoma kind of feeling themselves a little bit, you know? I almost wonder, not that this is necessarily going to happen, but Steak, if you're going to take the points with the Owls, crazy shit happens in college football. Would you sprinkle a little on the money line?
Yeah, I always do. I don't know if I'd be like,
okay,
online for people to see, but I always sprinkle a little on the money line. The Temple Owls are not beating the Oklahoma Sooners this weekend.
Fine, fair enough. Okay. Overall, I'm with you. The total in the game is 51.5. I mean, look, Temple can score points, but Oklahoma's done a really good job defensively, and especially against that Michigan offense. But I'm with you. Temple or nothing. If I was to play that, I'd even sprinkle on the money line. Let's talk about another big home dog here, and not necessarily a sandwich spot, but a weird spot. Oregon. The Ducks are on the road against Northwestern. This is an official play for us. Official play. I love saying that. It's in our newsletter. We're on Northwestern, getting 28 points. Now, it's a lot of fucking points. All right. And you brought this up last week. Kudos to you. I had a really good week. One of my better Saturdays I've had in a long time. I think I went 11-3 or 11-4. But Oregon is a team I ended up fading, and I regretted it. And you told me not to, but I was like, maybe this is the year bulletin board material comes through. And the reason you pointed it out that it might be suspicious, this is why I'm bringing this up. Oregon was minus 28 against Montana State in week 1. They won and covered. Then they were 28 against Oklahoma State. And you mentioned that it was interesting that they're the same spread against a fucking fuck Montana. No disrespect to the state. I'm sure it's beautiful. The same spread in Montana as they were a Power 4 school in Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's not going to be good, but that was still interesting that spread wasn't 3-4 points shorter. They killed them 69-3 or something like that. I forget the exact score. Gave them bulletin board material. Dan Lanning is that type of coach. I want to lean into with the Pac-12 teams coming into the Big Ten when they go to these weird stadiums and play these weird teams, not the Ohio States, not even the Wisconsins. I like them when they go to the little fucking Northwesterns, the Purdues, the Marylands. You know, we saw USC lose to Maryland last year. I do not think Northwestern is going to beat Oregon. I'd rather take Temple on the money line there. But I like Northwestern to cover the spread. Last reason I like it is I think we'll get a nice bounce back from Northwestern, which we've already seen after that really pathetic showing by Preston Stone throwing 3 or 4 interceptions at Tulane in week 1. They lost 23-3. Following week against Western Illinois or Western Indiana, I don't know, WIU, whatever the fuck that is, they won 42-7 and covered the 31.5 point spread. I think the Ducks are going to score, but I think Northwestern's going to get a few too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It's a newsletter play. I'm back again, I guess, because I pointed out that I thought Oregon minus 28 was weird against Oklahoma State. Well, I'll throw out there that I think it's weird. They're only minus 28 now against Northwestern. Northwestern lost to Tulane by 20, and they just lost their best offensive player for the year, Cam Porter. So they beat Oklahoma State 69-3, and now they're under a 4-touchdown favorite against Northwestern, who no one believes in. That Western Illinois team that they lost to 42-7, I'm pretty sure Illinois beat by 60. So they're a nobody team. They're an exhibition team. It is what it is. But what does Northwestern have that Oklahoma State didn't? Quarterback experience. Whatever you want to say about Preston Stone, you can feel whatever you want. I understand. Didn't work out at TCU. Kevin Jennings took his job. People have mixed opinions. I think he's even, I would say, serviceable to above serviceable. And I think he'll turn the ball over less. He'll have longer drives than Oklahoma State. And that's why I do like Northwestern to cover the spread. I don't think it has any chance to be 69-3 in this game. And also, Northwestern didn't give the worst guy in the world to give bulletin board material to. Like,
yeah,
if you're Mike Gundy, just shut the fuck up when you play.
Yep.
Seriously, what are you doing? You're trying to get your kids killed? It's insane. You saw how they went to Degen. Like, don't do it. And Northwestern is not going to do that. They're not that type of school. And I think it could be a sleepy performance from Oregon on offense.
Yep. With you. I think we covered it well enough. By the way, hilarious. If you look at these Pickett splits, by the way, everybody, I think we already told you we're presented by Pickett, but you can go to the desktop version as well. Shows you the handle for all the bets they tracked, $151,000. Not a whole lot, but I do think it's hilarious when you always look at this. 0.2% of the money is on Northwestern money line. I love the brave soul who you know is probably a Northwestern student or alum that's got whatever 0.2%. Godspeed. Love it. Wouldn't mind seeing it happen because I do have the Ducks under win total. I wasn't a believer in Dante Moore Jr., and I might be regretting it. Okay. Another game we have, official play. Couple of nooners here. Troy at home after hanging with Clemson, hosting Memphis. I'm seeing this game is anywhere from 3.5 to 4 for Memphis. We have it in the newsletter. We're on Memphis. This one was kind of you taking control here. Which I agree with. I co-sign it. I'm with you. I like Troy. I got there with Troy last week, but it had nothing to do with Troy. It had everything to do with just fading Clemson. Troy was up 16-0 at halftime, or 16-3. I think Clemson got a field goal. Next thing you know, you blink, and Clemson was winning the game 26-17. They woke up, but they didn't cover 31.5 point spread. kudos to Troy for going on the road and putting up that performance. Now they're at home playing Memphis. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
It has nothing to do with Troy for me either. It has to do with what happened to Troy last week, and it has to do with the fact that I think Memphis is a pretty solid football team with a senior quarterback who I like. But really, I can't get over the fact that there was a point when you logged into your sports book and Clemson was minus 160 to win that game, and Troy was plus 130 on the money line. And all I can think of is that Troy guys are on the bench and they're looking over at each other like, holy fuck, man. Like, can we win this game? Like, we maybe can beat Clemson. Oh, holy fuck. Like, we can do this. And then they just it's done. It's quickly as you can believe it, it was gone. And I have a hard time believing Troy brings anywhere near that same level of intensity to this game. And I don't care. Maybe that's a pretty square way of thinking, honestly, now that I say it out loud. But I just have a hard time thinking Troy is going to show up at their best for this game.
It's hard to follow up that performance from Clemson and come right back at home against a team like Memphis, who I like that Memphis has had two somewhat exhibition games, you could call it. They played Chattanooga at home. They were 30.5-point favorites. They covered. They won 45-10. And then they played at Georgia State. They were on the road. They were 14.5-point favorites. They beat the piss out of them, 38-16. This quarterback hasn't had to do much, Steak, but I looked into it, and Memphis's QB, this is his 5th year. He played at Nevada, and what was the other school he played at? I'm drawing a blank. It's in the newsletter. But anyways, he's got a lot of experience, so I don't think playing at a stadium like Troy is going to have him rattled. I'm with you. I like the Tigers to go in there, and potentially Troy could be a little bit of a trendy home dog after looking good last week. I'm down to fade that. All right. We don't have a bet in this one, but we don't have a bet in the next two, I believe, at least not an official bet, but I think it's worth talking about to see if anything comes of it, or at least give your leans for the viewers. Alabama's 21-point favorites at home against Wisconsin. It's a bit of a revenge spot, if you want to say that, for Wisconsin, because Alabama went up there and beat them in Wisconsin last year. I like this home and home series between the SEC and this Big Ten school. You and I are so out on Wisconsin. However, we have said we didn't like Phil Longo. We're not Phil Longo guys. Phil Longo is gone. I have a feeling that after what we just saw Alabama do and bounce back and put up 70 whatever points, which I bought into. I played Alabama first half. I clipped it from this video and even tweeted it. I was very proud of that read. I have to say, I think we might be overreacting a little bit to Alabama. I still don't know. As good as I think Alabama has potential to be, I don't know that I trust them laying 21 points against a team like Wisconsin, who is not good, but I think they can hang. I think Wisconsin can hang. And I don't think anybody, not one fucking person, likes Wisconsin. And you're going to tell me, but it's 3 touchdowns. I know. I get it. But still, what has Wisconsin done so far this season? I'll tell you right now. They beat Miami of Ohio 17-0. They were 17.5-point favorites. They just played Middle Tennessee. They covered. They were 28.5-point favorites. But still, I mean, going into the halftime, it was 14-10. Every time you look up Wisconsin, you're just like, God, this school is pathetic. You're writing them off entirely. It just wouldn't surprise me to see them make this game a little weird, a little interesting, a punt return for a touchdown, something wacky, and cover this game. So I lean Wisconsin. I don't know if I'm going to play it. Any thoughts?
Don't like Wisconsin, unfortunately. Yeah. I do like Danny O'Neil, the new QB. Well, not the new QB, but the backup QB who came in because Billy Edwards is hurt. I like him more than Billy Edwards. I was so low on Wisconsin because of Billy Edwards, the kid from Maryland. Just not a fan. But the more I look at that Alabama FSU game, I just think FSU is really good. And I think more other people look at this line, they're like, big school. Playing Alabama, 3 touchdown dogs again. Like, I think more people are going to be tapping Wisconsin than you think, because nobody said like who did they play last week? Louisiana Lafayette or Monroe or something like
Alabama?
That.
Yeah. Louisiana Monroe.
Nobody cares. Nobody says that was a bounce back. Everybody's still really low on DeBoer. People are still making GoFundMe's to buy him out, and I don't know. I don't like Wisconsin.
$203,000 tracked on Pickett, and it looks like the spread is pretty even with bets and money. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, you would be right. Okay. Yeah, nothing. I'm sure. I'm not sure I'm going to get there, but it's a lean for me. All right, Clemson on the road against Georgia Tech. We tailed our guy Crutch on fading Georgia Tech, so certainly I hope Clemson figures their shit out and gets it together. But as much as I want to tell you that I think Clemson gets right in this game, get out of Death Valley. You're not feeling yourselves. You lost LSU. You were losing to Troy at halftime. You get on the road. This could be the spark they need. This could be the wake-up call they need. Georgia Tech is no slouch. I think they're going to be ready for this game, and I think they're going to fucking bring it. The total in this one is 52.5. Feels like it could be a Clemson offensive outburst, which we've timed before in seasons past. Unfortunately, sad to say, you and I have been on and off Clemson guys, more so on. But we have a pretty good read on this team when it comes to their team total and their offense. I don't think I can get there, though. I'm going to sit back, already invested, got the Georgia Tech win total under 7.5. Hope Clemson wins. But if I was to make a wager, I'd probably take Clemson team total over or Clemson. Would you agree or disagree?
I would not take Clemson team total over. I would take Clemson, but I think where we differ is I'm a little more excited to see what the defense can do against Haynes King. I'm not really a Haynes King guy. He is cool. He is cool. It's a cool story. He'll run through your fucking face. Don't get me wrong. I kind of think he's one-dimensional, and now he's banged up going against a team that going into this year had 3 guys on defense that people were saying could be drafted top 10 to 15 in the NFL draft. So I want this Clemson defense to put up or shut up just as much as I want Cade Klubnik and them to put up or shut up. And I think in this game, it's about shutting down Haynes King. So honestly, bro, I would actually like Georgia Tech team total under as a look.
Ooh, okay.
But you know, I do acknowledge looking at the spread that Clemson seems a little easy. But then again, Georgia Tech was trendy darling of the offseason and not like haven't seen anyone saying they don't like them. I wasn't overly impressed with their win against Colorado. Like I said, I think there was definitely opportunities for Colorado to win that game. It was 20-20 late, and Haynes King had a breakaway run to go up 27-20, and then not enough time left for Colorado. But yeah, I really like Clemson. I don't know exactly how I'm going to attack it.
Okay. Fair enough. A couple of spots just to point out. Don't think we're getting involved with any, but again, this is when the season gets going and you have these spots, the look aheads, the letdowns, the sandwiches. It's always fun to point them out. Sometimes you could take advantage. Sometimes you don't even have to worry about it. I took advantage of South Alabama when Tulane went on the road before they have to play Duke, which we'll talk about later. South Alabama was at home last week, 12.5-point dogs, took them against Tulane. They covered. They are on the road. They're playing Auburn. Auburn is 24.5-point favorites. Auburn has a look-ahead spot because, as we just talked about, they have that showdown at Oklahoma next week. And in that same note, we'll just knock 2 out in one sentence. Missouri, potential sandwich spot. They just beat Kansas. Huge win and covered. Nice job. I think you kind of called that. They're -5.5. Got a little lucky at the end, but we'll take it. They're 27.5-point favorites against Louisiana Lafayette, and they have South Carolina coming into town next. So you got Auburn 24.5, Missouri -27.5. Big games on deck. Do you like either for a look ahead?
More so South Alabama, not playing either, but I 100% agree with you. They'll be fun to revisit for sure.
Okay. Quickly, UConn on the road against Delaware. A couple people in our chat this week on Tuesday when we talked about the College Board did bring this up. Any interest in fading UConn after they blew that game against Syracuse? No. Okay.
No.
Okay. We can keep moving. We're into 3:30 now. Purdue and USC. Purdue is at home hosting USC. Saw them at 21.5 earlier in the week. Now they're 20.5. Maybe a little money coming in on Purdue. I'm not too sure. Total's at 60. I thought about maybe getting involved with this game, but again, Pac-12 teams coming into weird places. It would be Purdue or nothing for me, and it's going to be nothing because I like Jaden Maeva. I like USC. I think they're on a mission this year. Nobody's really talking about him. Maeva's one of my long shot Heisman picks. I'm good. Anything for you?
I think the line is super respectful to USC, and for that reason, it would be USC or nothing for me. You said it. No one's like would be super excited about laying 21.5 with USC at Purdue. If that was a spread at USC, I totally understand. I think that's a fat spread to be at Purdue. For me, it would be USC or nothing, but I can tell you 99.9% chance this doesn't make my card.
All right. We got the brawl, the backyard brawl, I think it's called. Fun rivalry at 3:30 as well. Pitt and West Virginia. 2 schools I can't really get a read on. Pitt is 2-0 on the year, 2-0 ATS. We like their quarterback. Was it Eli Holzer?
Eli
Holstein. So far, 39-point favorites, 21.5-point favorites. They have put up 106 points. In the first 2 weeks, they're 7 on the road against West Virginia. West Virginia last week stumbled. They went to Ohio. They were 3.5-point favorites. They lost outright. Perhaps a look-ahead spot there that we didn't take advantage of.
For sure. It's a huge rivalry.
Huge rivalry. So do you think, do you like the home dog here getting 7?
Nah, I think everybody's going to like the home
Yeah.
dog getting 7.5 on FanDuel currently. So
Yeah.
you're getting more than a touchdown with the home dog in a heated rivalry. God, I kind of think I like Pitt, man.
I do too.
I think Pitt might just embarrass these guys. I don't think they're very good either, West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it'd be Pitt or nothing for me. Okay, one of the best games of the day, 3:30, Georgia on the road against Tennessee. We have an official play in this one. Again, kind of led by you, but I agree. I'm on board with this one just as much. I thought about maybe getting cute with the first half, but we're not going to get cute this early in the season. We are on the full game under in Georgia, Tennessee, 50 or 50 and a half, depending on whatever you get. The dogs opened up, I think 6.5 or 7. Money has been pouring in on Tennessee all the way down to 3.5. Looks like it's back to 4. You and I align on this. Georgia feels slept on. Georgia feels contrarian. Anytime Kirby Smart in Georgia is contrarian, we do not fade them.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have pressed the Tennessee button. I like Heupel. I like this Joey Aguilar kid. He looks good. They look fun, but they haven't really been tested. They played Syracuse in a neutral site.
Yep.
They beat the piss out of it. Or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say they beat the piss out of them. They covered the 14 or 15 points. You had them. Great job. Got a little dicey there because their defense allowed Syracuse to score some points. Georgia has not faced anyone yet. They didn't cover against Marshall, but that's what Kirby Smart does. He doesn't cover big spreads, but they've had 2 tune-up games coming into this spot. Nobody really knows what to think about Gunnar Stockton yet. This is his chance to show people what he's got. But I don't know. I don't see him going out there and lighting Tennessee on fire. I think the most either of these teams score is probably 24. And I think for Tennessee, as much as I like the coach and the quarterback in this offense and potentially this team, it's the biggest test they've had this season. I think there's going to be a lot of nerves, kind of like what we saw with Texas, Ohio State. You know, the hype isn't there, but I think it's going to be a very tense game to start. I like the under. You like the under. It's an official play for us in our newsletter. Anything else you'd like to add on that?
Not really. I just think it's a big ask. Like, I actually saw this line at 7. I like Tennessee this year. I think I've been pretty vocal about it. I've been impressed with Joey Aguilar, albeit they haven't played anyone. I understand. I'm not prepared to call Georgia contrarian, but I think everyone is at a wait and see with Georgia. We just don't know. We want to see what Gunnar Stockton looks like. We want to see what this offense looks like. We just want to see. We don't know. And so at 7 at home, I was like, wow, I see some value here with Tennessee. Well, apparently everybody did because it got bet down to 3.5 and it's back up to 4.5. Totally fine. But I'm not taking Tennessee plus 4.5 because, like I said, it's a big ask. A year ago, you were the quarterback at Appalachian State. Then you think you're transferring to UCLA. And then some weird shit happens with Nico Iamaleava. And all of a sudden, you're the quarterback at Tennessee and you're playing the Georgia Bulldogs. It's a big ask, man. I will be so impressed with Joey Aguilar if he has an above average game. And it's weird to say as a Gators fan, I'm rooting for them, but I need to see it first. One thing I think for sure is you're not going to get a shootout. I do not believe you're getting a shootout in this one.
I don't either. I can't see it.
Yeah.
I just can't see it. These are the picket splits, by the way. Pretty right down the middle. A little bit more love for Georgia here on the money line. The spread is even, and so is the total. Should be a good game. Okay, a couple we can breeze through here. We put these up on Friday night. Obviously, the games are at Saturday morning. We try not to make them too long here. Again, most of the majority and the bulk of the work that we've done in our research was in the middle of the week. Okay, I kind of want to fade Iowa State. Iowa State's on the road against Arkansas State, and it's just one of those things, man. They've had a great start to the season, and it's not that I'm not a believer, but they have a bye week coming up, which is huge because this is a team that went to Ireland and beat Kansas State. They come right back home to play South Dakota. Don't miss a beat. Beat them 55-7, and then they just had to play their rival, in-state rival Iowa, in a grinder of a game, 16-13. I just kind of think that they can't wait to get into a bye week. I know they're young kids. You know, they're probably not beaten up too much. And if anything, they know they got one more performance to put out there before they get a week off. But I like Arkansas State plus 21. That would be a small lean to me. You got anything?
Nah, you're pretty spot on with everything you said about Iowa State this year. For the most part, I've been with you until last week. I didn't like the team total under look.
Iowa team total under, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that look because I didn't want to take Rocco Becht out of the equation. He actually had a pretty bad day, which isn't surprising. Iowa's defense is good, but good read by you. You've been on point against Iowa State. Can't give you any pushback. I do agree with what you're saying. Playing Iowa and Kansas State in Ireland in the first 3 weeks is crazy for this team because those are literally two of their biggest rivals. So yeah, I'm with you here.
Cool. Quickly, Texas minus 41.5 against UTEP. Any thoughts that this could be the coming out party for the Texas offense? Nope. Okay.
Yes.
They were 37 last week, and I don't think they covered the spread. Biggest game of, I would say, well, it's not bigger than Tennessee, Georgia, but it's in the 4:30 slot. Miami and USF. Miami is 17.5. I don't know what people make of this game. I've heard some back and forth. I thought USF was going to be a trendier dog, Steak, but you and I talked about it. Starting to think everybody's on Miami here. Whether it's first half, whether it's full game, I don't.
Great splits game.
Great picket splits game. You're right. In my opinion, even if, we talk about it all the time, like we like to lean contrarian in our betting style, but square plays hit all the time. If everybody's on it, you still like it, go ahead and press the button, because the regret of that sucks if you don't take it for that reason. Everybody's on it and then it hits. Miami could be one of those teams. Miami could be one of those games. I liked what I saw from them against Notre Dame. You're a Miami guy. So far, so good. Granted, it's only 2 weeks in. I'm not gonna cash it for you. A lot of green. It's probably hard for anybody watching this to tell the difference, but yeah, I mean, it looks like more money is on Miami on the spread. Total is a little sharp to the under, which I would agree with. I actually late on my card, I put the first quarter under in Florida USF. Kind of wanted to fade the big stage for USF after, beating Boise State. Brutal start to the schedule here for Byron Brown and Alex Golish. But I think if anybody's up to it for a smaller school, this is a good tandem to have.
They're thriving.
Damn good quarterback, damn good head coach. Team's kind of feeling themselves, but I can't get out of my head how good Miami looked against Notre Dame. Their defensive front, their offensive line, they look like fucking grown men. I mean, Notre Dame is known for getting push off the ball. They held Jeremiah Love to nothing. CJ Carr was held back by the coaching staff. I can't see USF really doing too much. I lean Miami here or nothing.
I think it's pretty simple. Thanks to the Florida Gators, the Miami Hurricanes can no longer look ahead to next week or look past this game, because the South Florida Bulls are the 18th ranked team in the country and arguably have the most impressive wins. Like, who has two more impressive wins than beating top 15 Florida and beating Boise State? I'm sure there's somebody out there I'm not thinking of, but my point is Miami can't overlook this team now.
Yeah.
And they're not going to. And I've said it a bunch of times. Miami is better at every position than they were last year, except quarterback. And you know how I feel about Carson Beck, so I don't even think they're that much worse at quarterback. I like the weapons more. The offensive line is much improved. The defense is much improved. I like Miami. I like them first half. I like USF team total under, to be completely honest. And I like Miami to cover the spread. I just think they dog walk them.
Yeah. All right. I'm with you. Ole Miss hosting Arkansas. I think you and I both liked Ole Miss in this game, and then I'm out. I decided to stay away from this. This is at 7:00, so we're getting into the night slate here. I don't know if they opened 6.5 or 7.5. I kind of saw it bouncing around all week. Looks like it's 6.5 right now.
7.5. But the guy, Austin Simmons, was in a walking boot at some point this week. He's expected to play, but I think that could move a spread at least a point.
Yep. All right. Well, that's probably the reason. Arkansas hasn't really played anybody. They played Arkansas State. They beat the piss out of them 56-14. Before that, I don't even know who AAMU is, but 52-7. So Talon Green, I believe, is their quarterback. Is that right?
He's good.
I saw a guy I respect on Twitter talk about a long shot Heisman pick for Talon Green. So this guy definitely has caught the eyes of some respected bettors out there. I think Arkansas is going to be a bit of a trendy dog, but not the easiest spot for Ole Miss coming back and playing a game against a team like Arkansas after you just played a gritty game against Kentucky. But I liked what I saw from Ole Miss in that game. I mean, for the most part, they kind of dominated, It was interesting early, but then they went up 30-20. There was a little bit of a backdoor shenanigans. You know what I kind of see simplified? Lane Kiffin apologizing to the gamblers in the post-game interview last week.
Give them one back.
Making it up to everybody this week. I think he's gonna find a way to cover no matter what. But also, we like Ole Miss. Hopefully, Austin Simmons is okay. We're in on Ole Miss this year over their win total and whatnot. Little flyer on Simmons to win the Heisman. I just think they just get better and better throughout the year. So it would be Ole Miss or nothing for me.
I think you're right. I think Arkansas will be a trendy dog, and for right reason. They were a really good underdog last year. I think they won 2 games outright where they were 21+ point dogs. Talon Green is good, and I want to be clear. I'm an Ole Miss guy. I'm also an Arkansas guy. I really like Talon Green. And in this game, I would take Ole Miss, but just gambling on the health of Austin Simmons, a walking boot, is not a joke. And I'm gonna pass because we have all the Ole Miss futures. I'll just wait and see and hope they pull out the win. But if you put a gun to my head, I would take Ole Miss -6.5.
Okay. 7:30, just a weird one for me. But speaking of Kentucky and Ole Miss, I like Kentucky. 26.5 at home against Eastern Michigan. I don't think Eastern Michigan's very good. If you look at what they've done, they were 22.5 point favorites. They just lost to, oh my God, they lost to Long Island.
Oof.
They lost to Long Island. Okay, so look ahead for them.
Yeah.
Before that, they were 14-point dogs at Texas State. They lost 52-27. You know what it just kind of feels like to me, Steak? When you look at these teams, sometimes you look at their schedules, they need one game to just fucking let loose. They need one game to run up the score and have a nice showing for their home fans. Kentucky hasn't really had that yet. They won 24-16 against Toledo, but that was ugly. It was an ugly game. They did
Toledo
nothing.
did to Western Kentucky?
Yeah, Toledo fucked them up. This Kentucky defense might be legit. Now, granted, Ole Miss scored 30 on them, but the offense looked much better.
Yep.
I thought Calzada looked much better. I just thought it looked like that team offensively was night and day from when they played Toledo. And they still managed to put up 24 points against a team like Toledo and 23 against Ole Miss. I think they're going to beat the piss out of Eastern Michigan. They are a big favorite I like this week, -26.5 at home. Okay, couple marquee games at night, and then we'll wrap it up. LSU, Florida. You are a Gators fan. I know how you feel about Billy Napier. You had a great rant on him on the board review this past week. A lot of money's coming in on Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They were 8.5, 9. They're all the way down to 7. Mm-hmm. They were 7.5. It is 7 now. I'm starting to think it's the values on LSU at home.
I think the values on LSU, man. Just get ready for the Billy Napier experience. That's what I said on Owner's Box earlier. If you're betting on the Gators, get ready for the experience. For example, he starts off the game running Jaden Baugh. He's getting 5, 6, 7 yards a carry. He looks dominant. He's a very good running back, very good player. What does Billy Napier do? Stops running the football. He stops running the football because his brain is huge and he's always doing the right thing. Billy Napier is the reason I cannot back the Florida Gators. I'm still very in on DJ Lagway. I think he's a really good quarterback. But how about the under, man? 46.5. Two teams that have recently had pretty bad defenses, and they're much improved this year. Like, Florida's defense didn't lose in that game against USF. It was the offense. It was the penalties and the offense. Every red zone opportunity was a field goal, and we had 120-plus yards in penalties. And LSU, what's everybody so excited about? Nuss didn't go crazy against Clemson. It was the defense shutting down Cade Klubnik. And I think these two improved defenses going against each other with the over-under 46.5, I don't think you're getting fireworks in this game, man. I like the under.
Okay. I'm kind of with you.
Also, can I say one more thing? Sorry to cut you off.
Of course.
A game between Garrett Nussmeier and DJ Lagway has a lower over-under than a game between Joey Aguilar and Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting now that you put it that way. DJ Lagway was a popular Heisman pick. I'm not out on him either. I'm way out on Billy Napier. I stared down the Gators earlier in the week. I got off of them. I'm no thank you. LSU, talk about a fucking look ahead spot. And I know that these terms get abused and whatnot, but you got to take advantage of them sometimes. LSU, this was a sandwich spot that we missed. Prime. After beating Clemson, they go home to play Louisiana Tech. 36.5 point favorites. The week before playing Florida, they win 23-7. Yeah. Talk about not showing anything. Yeah. And you know what? This is why I fear for Florida. They had such a bad showing. It actually probably got the fans pissed off. So now you got Brian Kelly pissed off. And I know he's a scumbag and he's not the best in-game manager, but he's still a winning head football coach. He's going to let him hear about it all week. I think the offense, I think that LSU performance is going to be a bit better than everybody's thinking. I think they win the game by 10 at least.
Yep.
All right, a couple more games and then we're done. Notre Dame, Texas A&M. We're on the Irish. My Irish. You like them as well, which I love to hear. Fuck Texas A&M. Listen, I'm not a hater. I hated Jimbo Fisher, but I'm not a hater of this team or Elko, the head coach. I do respect them, but Marcel Reed is a guy I can't trust on the road. I just can't. Last year, they lost to Auburn when Auburn won 4 fucking games on the road. Before that, they lost to South Carolina 44-20. They're a different team on the road, and I don't trust them. And I don't trust them his first time playing in South Bend Stadium at night when Notre Dame's coming off a bye after a putrid fucking performance against Miami. And somehow they made that game close. That was a disgusting, disappointing, conservative training wheel showing by the Irish. It was despicable. You go with the gunslinger, don't even let them fucking throw. two passes over 20 yards. Give me a break. Jeremiah Love gets 9 carries. He does absolutely nothing. You got pushed around. Now you have an extra week to hear about it. I bet you they can't fucking wait to get back out on the football field, especially against an SEC team. I think they are going to beat the brakes off of Texas A&M. This is going to be like a 38-14 game. That's what I think. I get nervous now with this Notre Dame team against size like Miami had, not with speed. I think Texas A&M has speed. If anything, Notre Dame got smaller, but they got faster. The biggest concern I have is defensive coordinator Chris Ash. Al Golden was great. Chris Ash did not like what I saw in his debut against Miami. Carson Beck is a better quarterback than Marcel Reed. Irish 6.5 feels like a lot of respect. I love it, and we're on it. Anything?
I liked a lot what I saw from TJ Carr in the second half of that Miami game. Yep. I think it was very evident that the coaching staff game plan wasn't trusting him to throw it down the field or really do anything in the first half. It was just wide receiver screen, wide receiver screen, wide receiver screen. Yep. And in the second half, they let him be himself, and I thought he looked like a really good quarterback. And if this game is close, that makes me like Notre Dame even more to pull away, because I don't trust Marcel Reed's arm in a close game or on a big fourth down. I just don't trust the guy. I'm sure he'll have some rushing yards. He's going to miss some guys. And I'm with you. I think Notre Dame dominates this game.
Love it. All right. One or two more games to talk about. Actually, just two. South Carolina, Vanderbilt. Big game. I didn't think they would be, but I think Vanderbilt might be a bit of a trendy dog here. I thought nobody would think they would beat Virginia Tech on the road and then follow it up with a win against South Carolina. I could be wrong. A lot of people disrespect the South Carolina team. I think they're pretty good. Night game at home. Tough spot for Vanderbilt to go to Blacksburg, now South Carolina. I like the Cox. I'd buy low on the Cox. They were 4.5, 5. Now they're 3. I'd buy low on them. What do you think?
I'd buy low on the Cox too. I don't think anyone likes them, especially when you compare the way both of these teams just played Virginia Tech. South Carolina needed a punt return to put that game away. Vanderbilt went down 10-0 and then absolutely dominated them. I do think Vanderbilt's a trendy dog. However, I was so wrong about Vanderbilt with Virginia Tech. I think I should sit this one out. But I would probably go South Carolina. It's not going to make my card though.
Okay, last one, 8 o'clock. Tulane and Duke has to be talked about because it's the Darian Mensah revenge game. We love
Duke revenge game. I mean, is it the Tulane revenge game?
Or is it the Tulane revenge game? Nobody's really talking about that. Listen, I faded Duke on the year. I'm not a believer in Duke. They looked better. I doubled down. I bet Illinois large last week. Got there easily, but it was nervous. It was sweaty at first.
Wasn't as easy as the scoreboard looked.
Yes, it was not that easy. I was sweaty. I was nervous. Duke looked better, and he played better than I had hoped. But the turnovers were a problem. Do I think they're going to clean it up? Sure. Tulane comes out in their week 1 opener and beats the piss out of Preston Stone and Northwestern. They take it personally with the jersey motivation. You're going to tell me they're not going to come back home and take it serious, that they got Mensah coming back who left them for $8 million? I think this place is going to be rocking. I think that team's going to be buzzing. And I think everybody is once again going to get cute going back to Duke here as a 1-point dog against Tulane. I like Tulane straight up. And I think Retzlaff deserves a little respect. What about you?
I don't like Tulane as much as you do, only because I wanted to make sure I remembered, because I watched like every bit of that Illinois Duke game. And Duke did not look 45-19 bad. I mean, they were driving the ball. They probably had way more total offense than you think. They were driving the ball. They had awful turnovers. Like, I think it would be impossible to think they don't clean that up, to be completely honest. And so for that reason, I can't be as confident as you are about Tulane, even though I think everything you said makes sense.
Yeah, they had 438 yards of offense, 21 first downs, but those turnovers will kill you. They lost 4 fumbles, Duke did.
Yeah,
yikes.
That's insane.
All right, Steak. That's it for college football week 3. Gross slate. Think we made the best of it. Again, please make sure you like the video. Helps the algorithm. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll be back every Friday, late afternoon, early evening with our best bets. Steak, good luck this weekend. Good luck, everybody. Win more bets than you lose, and we'll catch you on the board review Monday, 10 a.m. Peace.